Hello, everybody, and welcome to Sheboygan A's Baseball. My name is Mike Martin, and joining me will be the intern, Charlie Heim. Chicago taking on the Rippers today in another doubleheader. They split last night. Sheboygan won Game 1, 6-5. The Rippers won Game 2, 6-5. That one taking 11 innings. The interesting story about the second game, Charlie, is a starter for the Rippers pitched a complete game. Joba Farrell. He's not here today because he's back in the Chicagoland area pitching in another league.
Yeah, we did hear that between innings from our PA announcer Bill, and talked to the Rippers, mentioned that, and just insane performance last night from Farrell to pitch a full 11 innings, and now to go out and pitch again today. I think Sheboygan a little bit happy not to see him again today, though.
Right, he pitched a fine ball game. He ran into trouble in the third, giving up 4 runs, but from that point on, he was really terrific. Sheboygan had some good performances also yesterday. Rippers are a good team. Taking a split is not a negative thing. They're a very good ball club, and we're going to stop talking and listen to our national anthem. Brittany Scaliglia with a nice rendition of the national anthem. The starting lineup for Sheboygan defensively, they'll have Jacob Neese at first, Kyle Flynn over at second, Harry Stelt at third, and Riley Palmquist at short. Riley missed the 2 games yesterday. In the outfield, we have Bennett Becker in left, Gus Walker in center, Brady Zekrusin in right, and catching today for Sheboygan is Justin Anzia. Starting is Ben Vorpal. We saw Ben in the play ball tournament. He went an inning, pitched very well. He attends Concordia, Wisconsin, and he's in business management. Big right-hander, pitched for North High. Had a no-hitter in high school.
Vorpal, 6'4", 225, very big guy out there on the mound. And really just hoping to have a little bit of extra power for the team. Anzia behind the dish, 6'3", our tallest catcher that we have out here. I believe his first year with the team, if I'm not mistaken.
It is. Anzia's first year. He's got listed his favorite position as catcher, and his current position is catcher, so he's a happy young man, getting to play what he wants to play.
did also see Anzia in the play ball tournament for, I believe, our first game only, if I'm correct. Did see him briefly during that, but now just hoping to perform well with a new team out here in Sheboygan as Chicago is ready to get things started off. Guyton, Bowling, and Kuda will be leading off. The same top of the order for Chicago as we saw yesterday.
The only thing that changed with those two fellows is their positions.
Guyton staying in left field. Bowling moving to right field this game. Was in center all of yesterday. And
yeah, I was surprised that Bowling was not playing center field, but Ty Hill, who played in the second game, is in center today. He played right field yesterday. First pitch by Vorpal is inside for ball one. Been a pretty hard thrower. Like we mentioned, a big kid.
Our umpires for today, same as yesterday.
Harry Stelt is even with the bag at third. If you remember yesterday in the second game, Guyton had a bunt single to lead off the second game. A breaking pitch way outside makes the count 3-1.
I think he might have just lost his grip with that pitch a little bit.
Today is Meyer Family Day. It's not too late to come on out here and enjoy the ball game. Get some perks with the Meyer Family Day. Following the walk is Mike Bowling.
Bowling, someone who we talked about quite a bit yesterday. It's a little bit weird to see him always handing off the ball, any foul balls to the umpire, but seeing that a little bit already early today as Vorpal throws in a strike.
Yeah, we talked about that yesterday. Mike Bowling, very considerate to the umpires, very respectful.
Gave a nice little fist bump to Anzia as he walked up to the plate.
Breaking ball inside. Anzia with a good stop. Evens the count at 1-1. Beautiful day out here at the ballpark.
Nice cool but not too cool temperature. Not quite too bright for...
Bouncing ball. Out at first. Throw down to second is not in time. So get the out. Get Bowling out. But Guyton advances to second. One out. I was going to say, you mentioned about a little cool. They're not as cool as the guys up in the press box.
Yeah. That play a little bit difficult out there. I was, didn't switch the cameras over because I thought that was going to be a foul ball, but ends up resulting in an out for Sheboygan.
Nice play by Jacob Neese, playing first base again. Anzia has one in the dirt. Throw down to third on the bouncing ball in the dirt, but the runner cannot advance. Guyton advances on the wild pitch. And Kuda still at bat with a ball one count. A nice Sunday crowd. We never got the attendance yesterday, but that was also a nice crowd. A lot of people in the ballpark. Grounder to Harry. He looks the runner back and fires across just in time to get Kuda. Nice play by Harry Stelt. That's going to bring up their cleanup hitter, Tony Sanchez. Sanchez played DH in the first game yesterday. He's the DH today in this game one. And then in the second game, he was the starting catcher.
Starting catcher ended up being pinch ran for in the top of the seventh. Don't think The previous catcher, I can't remember the name off the top of my head. I'm just
Hugo. Bouncing ball up the middle. Into center field, a base hit. Sanchez drives home the runner from third. And Chicago has the early lead. That brings up Brian Jensen. Jensen, the catcher today. We did not see him yesterday.
Not too many faces out here on Chicago that were not present last game. Jensen, one of the very few. The current batter in the hole, Blake Lishka, sorry.
He's a new guy.
One of the other ones out there.
Doesn't look like Lishka's on the roster that we received.
Number of people on our roster that haven't shown up at all for either game.
1-1 pitch by Vorpal is in the dirt.
Now, one thing that kind of intrigues me about Anzia behind the dish is that he does have a little bit of an interesting throwing motion.
I noticed that too, Charlie.
A lot of time catcher, though, strong overhand throw, but Anzia kind of, close to his body a little bit.
Yeah,
but
keeps his elbow in instead of maybe getting his elbow up to shoulder height and throwing. He's got it down alongside his body. But he seems to get the ball to where he wants it to go.
I think after seeing some of our fielding woes in the last game, second game of our set.
There's a line drive into right. Takes a bit of a bad hop. But Brady able to navigate that and hold Sanchez at second base. Jensen with a base hit. And that brings up Benji Rodriguez. So a run is in for the Rippers, and they have runners on first and second. There are 2 outs. Vorpal trying to work out of the first inning jam. First pitch is swung at and fouled back. Thanks for the shout out from Jane. No balls and 1 strike on the hitter. Rippers threatening to add to their lead. Rodriguez swung at a bad pitch there. No balls and 2 strikes. Let's see what Vorpal does. Takes that one low. Usual cast of characters up here in the press box. Bill doing the field announcing. Mike and Charlie doing the live stream, and CJ running the show up here. At least we let him think that. Keeps him happy. He's our troubleshooter par excellence. If there's a problem up here, he'll fix it. And if he can't fix it, he'll kick you out of the press box. I think Anzia might have taken that one off his body somewhere. Hopefully he'll be okay. 1 ball, 2 strike count on the hitter. Evens the count at 2-2. Harry deep at third. Sure, if he gets the ground ball, he'll probably just step on the bag.
Vorpal trying to, playing a little bit more with the pitches, trying to get him to swing at something bad.
Palmquist at short has it, makes a long throw across, and Neese able to flag it down and keep his toe on the bag. And that ends the top of the first inning, but not before the Rippers come up with a run.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you help support programs like Boys and Girls Clubs and Girls Who Code that show kids they can dream anything and do even more.
Carrier asks, what does comfort mean to you? We know it means more than just the temperature. And the people who invented modern air conditioning keep inventing new ways to make you comfortable. Carrier, turn to the experts.
For your heating and cooling needs, call Advanced Comfort Systems, Sheboygan's only Carrier factory authorized dealer.
Cold beer on a Friday night, a pair of jeans that fit just right, and the radio.
Getting ready to start the bottom half of the first. Gus Walker in his usual leadoff spot will be leading off the inning, and then Kyle Flynn follows him with Harry Stelt, the number 3 hitter. Pitching for the Rippers is Carl Lundholm.
Gus Walker had a very good game yesterday. I believe caught 12 fly balls between the two games. Also hit the game-winning hit in the first game.
He was a busy center fielder yesterday, that's for sure. Another strike, slow curveball. Lishka's at first, Kuda's at second, Rodriguez at third, and Martin at short. Fly ball in foul territory, and it drops untouched. In the outfield, Guyton in left field like he was all 2 games yesterday. Tyler Hill is in center field, and Mike Bowling moves from center field over to right. And we mentioned Brian Jensen is the catcher. That's the defense for the Rippers in this first game. Bouncing ball to third. Bad hop, but Rodriguez able to flag it down and makes a nice throw across to get Walker. CJ, I thought they took the bad hops out of this infield during the offseason. Apparently not.
Rodriguez with that play over at third. Played a little bit of shortstop yesterday as well as third base. Starting this game at third base as well.
Kyle Flynn is up next. He's playing at second today. I think we saw his best work, Charlie, in the play ball tournament when he was at third base. He made some outstanding plays over there.
He's been moving all around the infield so far this year.
Played shortstop yesterday and in both games. And like we mentioned, he's at second base today with Palmquist back, able to play. Another bouncer on the infield. Martin, strong throw across, is in time. 2 up, 2 down for Sheboygan. Brings up Harry Stelt.
Harry had a little bit of a slow start to his year. Only picked up his first hit in the extra innings of last game, I believe. No, he had the. He was part of the third inning, I believe.
Right, part of the third inning had a 2 RBI double.
But before that, had, I believe,
2 walks in the first game.
2 walks in the first game. I think for the year before that point was 6 walks on 11 at bats.
Something like
11
that.
plate appearances.
His on base is really good. Batting average is not very good yet. I'm sure that'll change. Harry sitting with a 1-ball, 2-strike count. Takes another pitch high. Makes it 3-2. Nice to be able to read the scoreboard.
Yeah. It's not quite bright enough out that we can't see it, which for us up here is very good.
Slow roller up the middle. Martin, bare hands, throws. And they got him. Tell you, that was a great play on both ends.
But
Martin on the bare hand pickup, and then the...
I believe...
Oh, no, they did not get him. It bounced in. We'll have to see what the official score gives him.
Looks like we are giving him a single on that one.
Base hit. Martin made a nice play, just couldn't get the throw up quite enough, and Harry was safe at first. Brady Zachrisson, the Northwoods cleanup hitter, is up next.
Now, Chicago, I think, was reading that scouting report on Harry. They know that he's a very strong hitter, so Martin playing back and seemed to be a little bit too far back for that slow roller.
Right, I thought it was going to roll through the infield and get to the outfield, but couldn't quite get there. Harry will go station to station, moves up to second base as Brady has a line drive single to right, and that brings up Jacob Neese.
Neese, I believe, DH'd our first game and played over at first in our second game, now returning to his post over on the right field line.
Game times yesterday were quite long. We went I think it was 2:29 for the first game. That was a 7-inning game. That's quite long. Usually you expect a game at this level to be somewhere under 2 hours, generally speaking. But the second game, an 11-inning affair, went 2 hours and 52 minutes. And Charlie, you were batting your eyes by the end of that second game.
By the end, I was.
You and me both. It was a long day.
I just think that, the 4 innings longer, only about 20 minutes.
Line drive to left. That's going to get down. It's going to go all the way to the wall. Harry will score easily. And they're going to send the runner. Throw is home, a strong one. A tag. They got him. Brady Zachrisson going all the way. But a nice throw from the left fielder to the third baseman to the catcher. And that ends the inning for Sheboygan, but not before they tie up the ball game.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you don't just feed yourself or your family. You help support programs like Simply Give that feed our neighbors in need.
Thank you.
I grew up working in my family's supper clubs. This is where it started with us as far as the fish that we serve at Culver's today. We source the finest cod and batter each fillet by hand and always cook it to order. That beautiful golden brown color and flaky on the inside. The fish fry is a Midwest tradition. It's about families coming together. I love bringing this tradition to guests everywhere. Mom and Dad would be proud. Welcome to Delicious.
Wingism number 2, the Joker.
Then her dad walked in. Dude, we're done eating. Use a napkin. You serious? Yeah. Are you serious? Yeah.
Justin Anzia throwing down to second base, threw it out into center field. Better to do it in practice than during the inning.
During the innings last game, we had a little bit of difficulty with that. I believe we had 2 errors in that second game on throwing attempts.
Yeah, and stolen base attempts. Throws went out to the center field. Blake Lishka, one of the players that was not here yesterday, making his first appearance in the weekend series. It's a bouncer. And Vorpal with that tall frame, able to jump up and get it and toss to first for the out. Nice play by Ben.
Very good jump on that one. Quite literally jump. You know, usually when you say a jump in baseball, you're thinking, you know, how quick they can read the ball. That one just actual jump into the air.
Tyler Hill up. We mentioned Hill played in the second game out in right field.
Big cut through that first pitch from Vorpal.
Hill swinging at a pitch outside the strike zone. Not happy with himself. And that he's got no balls and 2 strikes on him.
Then a little inside. Now, usually when you think of a catcher, you think, you know, this, real stocky person, but Anzia, not really that.
No, he's a kind of a lean-looking kid. Holmquist has it at short, backhands it. Can't waste any time if you're an infielder against this Ripper team. They have good speed, and we talked about it yesterday, too.
Pretty much everyone on this Ripper team, aside from maybe 1 or 2 players, which, you know, third base, first base, catcher, not necessarily always the fastest, but with Chicago, everyone else is a speed threat out there. Martin had a very good running catch out in that first game.
You know, when you talked about the speed aspect of Chicago and Martin stepping into the batter's box hit, that's what I was thinking too. That play where he ran from his shortstop position out into left field and made that catch. That was super.
Being completely guessing, I can't tell, but maybe like 250 feet out there in foul territory. He caught
it was a long run, and boy, he showed good speed. Vorpal gets the benefit of the call there. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Breaking ball down the right field line, but foul. Not a good pitch by Ben. Hung that curveball. Still 1 ball and 2 strikes on Mike Martin. There are 2 outs. We're all tied up. We're in the top of the second of a doubleheader on Meyer Family Day. There it is. Curveball on the outside part of the plate for a called strike 3. And it's a 1-2-3 second for Ben Vorpal.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you help support organizations like Hope House Mission and New Hope Shelter that give people around here warmth, shelter, and care.
Me spells the great taste of Sheboygan.
What does it take to stay in business for 75 years? It's not only featuring USDA choice beef. It's not caring about every single one of our 30 varieties of bratwurst. Nope. After being family owned for 3 generations, we've learned it's about you. At Miesfeld's Market, we give back to the community and our customers always come first. Since 1941, we've been feeding our neighbors, so come by and see what we've got today.
Jimmy Jurgensen will lead off the second inning for Sheboygan. Jimmy had a fine performance on the mound in the second game. Unfortunately, Sheboygan lost the ball game. Jimmy did have a hit in each game.
Takes a strike in there from Lundholm.
In that second game, Jimmy went 5 innings, gave up 3 hits. Did allow 2 runs, but they were not earned. The defense really let him down. And he had 1 walk and 7 strikeouts. And CJ was saying before we got started today that Jimmy had told him that's the longest he'd gone since high school in terms of pitching. 1 hopper right back to the mound.
Fairly easy play there for Lundholm.
Riley Palmquist is next. Riley, in 4 games, remember he did not play yesterday, is hitting .273. Martin crossed the infield for the putout. 1 pitch, 1 out. And that brings up Justin Anzia. Anzia was 0 for 2 in that play ball tournament game that he started.
Check swings to that one foul. We saw a number of check swings just barely rolling into play yesterday.
Remember that one that Jimmy had where he checked his swing and it was a little blooper right to the pitcher?
That was
for the catch.
That was a 2-0 count on that one as well. Really wanted to take that one back, but sometimes baseball you'll just see some weird plays like that. You don't mean to do anything, but
yeah, and that was in the 7th inning of game 1. Anzia with a base hit after 2 are out. Nice piece of hitting there by Justin. And that brings up Bennett Becker.
And his first base hit as a Sheboygan A. Becker comes in.
Pitch is in there for a strike. Pop up into short left center field. There's your triangle, and it drops in for a base hit. And hustling with 2 outs was Justin Anzia. He goes all the way to third base. There's your Bermuda Triangle, Charlie.
I wasn't looking at the play. I thought, okay, I just saw that it was a high pop up. I'd already written down that was going to be a flyout, but ends up dropping right where no one can reach it. Even with the good speed of Chicago, ends up being right where they aren't, and where they can't reach.
Walker swings through that first pitch from Lincomb. Gus grounded to third his first time up. Could really use a hit here. Take the lead. Pickoff attempt is not in time. Diving back in was Becker. Anzia is on at third. Good piece of base running by him on the bloop single. Whoa, that was very close.
The pickoff attempts over at first, 2 outs can be a little bit risky, especially with the runner on third. End up getting error. That's just a free run given up.
Another good fastball by Lincomb, and Walker swings through it.
Gus very solid out of the box. A little bit slow to start off the year as they
Pop up on the infield. Rodriguez making the call, but he gives way to Martin, who does make the catch. And that ends the second inning. No score by the A's after 2 complete. It's still tied at 1.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you shop for more than yourself. You help support sustainability in all our communities.
Thank you.
Today, tomorrow, and for years to come.
At Northwoods, we are a family. And like your family, our main concern is safety. As a leader in the cleaning and sanitation industry, we're doing our utmost to support and supply essential cleaning, sanitizing, and maintenance products to your family and business. And we're introducing new products, like our Cool Water Personal Hand Sanitizer with essential oils. Our thoughts and prayers go out to everyone affected by COVID-19. At Northwoods, we're protecting you through this pandemic and the next.
The action isn't always during the innings, fans. It's between innings. We just had the human wheelbarrow race, and we got the build-a-ball player event, and you got to come out to the ballpark and watch these things. It's a really great atmosphere out here. A lot more than just baseball goes on. And don't forget the concession stand and Pam's pretzel bits.
I'm definitely going to be visiting that between games. Of course, as much as I want to show off some of the between inning activities, you gotta get the sponsors out there. So, and just incentive to visit the ballpark to watch some of the things like that. The inflatable race, personally, is my favorite.
Right, yeah, that was a good one. It's the first time I saw that. Guyton bunts it, and easily is going to make it on a bunt single to lead off the third inning. Andy Guyton reached on a walk, and he scored in the first, and now he leads off the third. Hopefully he won't score.
And Guyton still, maybe a little bit easier said than done with someone like Guyton out there. Very quick. Chicago with 7 stolen bases yesterday. 6 alone in the second game. Only 1 in that first.
Mike Bowling is up. Bowling hit that one hopper to Jacob Neese, who was able to field it at first and tag the bag to get the batter. I don't know if we mentioned this yesterday, but in the game the other day, Willie Adames, the shortstop for the Brewers, was hit in the head on a foul ball. And I read today that he was released from the hospital, and he seems to be doing fine. I'm not sure if he'll be back in the lineup today. He missed yesterday's game. Bouncing ball. Flynn makes the catch, or grabs it. Throws wild. Runners are going to advance to second and third. So give Bowling a base hit, but the runners are going to advance on the throwing error. And that puts runners on second and third with nobody out. And Chicago has the number 3 hitter up and the number 4 hitter waiting on deck.
Of course, again, with Chicago's speed, you got to think that Sheboygan really looking to make sure that things don't get into the outfield, because
And Anzi almost threw that ball away. Orpel had to make a nice catch.
Even with Flynn, backing up relatively well, still a lot of speed out there on the bases for Chicago. So even if that missed just a little bit dangerous out there.
As a fielder, you're always thinking about it too. You pick up that ground ball, you have to get it over to first as quick as possible because of that speed.
Of course, last game we did see a lot of infield ground outs, but even then Chicago made a lot of them very difficult with just how fast they can run out there. But still, Sheboygan, for the most part, keeping things together on the infield hits.
That pitch is up high, makes the count 3 balls and 1 strike.
Could have grounded out to Harry in the first inning. Sheboygan looking to keep him silent.
And ball 4. Loads the bases for the designated hitter, Tony Sanchez. Sanchez singled in a run. Bounced one right up the middle into center field.
Of course, always dangerous to have the bases loaded, but at the same time, can still gives the option for the double play out there.
Well, that'd be real nice. How about a 1, 2, 3 double play?
Either that or a triple play.
That would be really super.
Round the horn triple play, 5-4-3.
First pitch is a ball to Sanchez. And that one is in the dirt and it bounces away. Chicago with another run in. It's now 2-1. And they still have runners now on second and third.
And just as I was mentioning the triple play possibility, it goes away.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm learning to. I still have to learn a little bit, when to mention things and when not to. It's still weird to have the commentators curse.
Right. Yeah, we've got to be careful about that. But things happen. Still the players on the field that determine.
Chalk up to me still being an intern. Throw a little bit off, but ends up being harmless.
3 balls and 1 strike. Orpel pitch is hit out into right field. 1 run will score. And they're going to hold the runner, but the throw goes over the cutoff man's head, and that allows Sanchez to go to second base. That's a mistake. So give Sanchez a single and an RBI. 1 run scores. Kuda now on third. And Sanchez, like I mentioned, advances to second on the throw home, and that brings up Brian Jensen. Still, nobody out.
Of course, throwing it home just a little bit, trying to cut off the runner from scoring. It'll be
fouled. It's fouled on the right field side. Kuda on at third, Sanchez at second, nobody out. Brian Jensen, who singled his first time up, is at the plate. The infield is up.
Again fouled out to right. Of course, Brady with that throw home, just trying to make sure that Kuda didn't score from third, but it does end up leading to Sanchez reaching second. So still, kind of that give and take.
Another ball hit foul.
That one rolling out onto the street.
Lakeshore Auto handling all broken car windows.
Still don't think I've seen an actual hit car yet.
We had a couple last year. Anzia doing a great job of sliding over and keeping that ball in front of him. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Jensen.
Which we can see at the top of the screen, our middle infielders, moving in to back up the throw just in case.
Bouncing ball right to Palmquist. He knocks it down. Throw to first is in time. Throw home, and they got him.
5-3-2 double play.
So Jensen is out 6-3, and then Kuda is out 3-2 on a double play. Nice throw by Jacob Neese. Now, I was thinking, Charlie, Neese has got an outstanding arm. I mean, it is really strong, and third base, making that throw across is nothing for him. And I'm thinking, boy, playing him at first base, you lose that good arm. It's not going to come into play very often. But did right there. Harry cuts in front of Palmquist, makes the throw, and Jacob able to scoop it up at first base, and that ends the inning finally, but not before the Rippers come up with 2 runs.
Let me tell you a story about a beer rooted in the heart of America, found in a community where a handshake is a sure contract, brewed for those who found opportunity in challenge and hope in tomorrow, raised by generations willing to sip, share, risk, remember. This is a story bigger than beer. This is the story of the American spirit.
All right, guys, we got teriyaki, honey barbecue.
Back here at Wildwood Park, getting ready to start the 3rd inning. Chicago scored 2 in the top of the 3rd and had runners on 2nd and 3rd with nobody out, and they didn't score any more runs. It was could have been a lot worse, Charlie.
Of course, a very solid and pretty rare 5-3-2 double play. Really cleared things up for Vorpal, who ends up getting out of the inning with less damage done.
Kyle Flynn's going to lead off the 3rd inning for the A's. Grounded to short his first time up. So fly ball well hit out to right, but Bowling has it measured. Bowling had quite a few catches yesterday, too, out in center field. He had 5 in the first game. No, in the second game that was. 5 in the second game. I think I had him for 2 in the other game, so he had 7. Now, if you take that one in right, that's 8.
At this point, trying to see who can have the most putouts.
Yeah, there you
between
go.
the outfield.
Although Walker's got a pretty good lead in that department. Harry Singleton scored back in the first. Everything happening after 2 outs.
That pitch close to the zone, but Harry, a very good eye out at the plate.
That one looked pretty good, too. I've often wondered, with Harry's reputation as such a good hitter and having a good eye and all that, I wonder if he gets the benefit of some close calls once in a while.
Of course, with him, there's a lot of close calls because no one really wants to pitch directly to him.
Yeah, that too. 2 balls and 2 strikes. There's 1 out. We're in the bottom of the third. The Rippers lead it 3-1. And I don't know, you can't hardly see in that shot, but Mike Martin is about 5 steps on the grass at short. He's not going to get that one, though.
Harry set up in position for that one initially, but Martin, rather, set up in position for that one, but Harry still just a little bit too far out there. He's getting his second hit on the day.
Brady Zacharson, the Northwoods cleanup hitter, stepping to the plate. He reached in the first on a base hit, and then was thrown out on a double by Neese that scored Harry, and Brady, trying to score all the way from first, was thrown out at the plate.
It's a very good throw on that one, and really it kind of had to be a perfect throw in order to get him out on that.
Tom Retzak in the house. Little chin music there. 3-1 is 3-0 is the count. See if Brady is swinging on this 3-0 pitch. He's not. Takes it in there.
Of course, when it's a 3-0 count, the pitcher's looking to just get a strike by any means, but still don't want to throw it over the plate in case they decide to swing.
Little looper out to center. Martin makes a catch and spins and throws back to first. A bad throw, but Harry not able to advance. And again, Mike Martin showing good range, able to catch that ball hit out into short center field.
Martin made a very good catch out there, but just rushed the throw a little bit.
I'm beginning to think that Mike Martin playing shortstop is a bit of a pest, just like our Mike Martin up here in the press box. I don't know if I like him so much. 2 outs. We're in the bottom of the third. Harry still perched over at first. Neese has to spin out of the way of that inside pitch. Curveball's in for a strike. 2 balls and 1 strike. Waiting on deck is Jimmy Jurgensen.
Harry over at first, not much of a stolen base start. Had 2 last year. No caught stealing, so 100% on the stolen bases at least.
Right. Jacob with a line drive through the infield, out in the right. Good piece of hitting by Jacob with 2 strikes. And that brings up Jimmy Jurgensen.
Harry rolling into second base.
Well, what's a little disturbing here, Charlie, is Sheboygan has 7 hits, yet they only have 1 run. See if Jimmy can drive in 1 or 2 runs. Or 3 with a big fly.
Always would be looking forward to a home run. We just had the 1 home run so far in the year from the play ball tournament.
Right.
Hit by Zacharson.
Oh, good play. They got Harry picked off. Harry is safe, avoided the tag. No, I guess he did not. I didn't see any umpire signal out. But anyway, Harry picked off a second, and was out at third. And that ends the 3rd inning for Sheboygan with no runs.
The estimated hold time is now less than 96 minutes. thank you for your patience.
Sorry, are you still there?
Yes.
Okay, please hold.
Not a good third inning for Sheboygan. They gave up 2 runs, had a chance to score some runs, and had the runner picked off for the third out. Got to hold him here in the fourth. Vorpal still on the mound for Sheboygan. Blake Lishka taps that one foul.
Now, usually when you think of baseball, you don't exactly think of designed plays. I mean, it's very much a reactionary game, but end of last inning, we saw what seemed to be a designed play from Chicago with that pickoff attempt.
Right, that was a called play. We were talking about how Lishka looked back at second. Then the moment he started to look towards home plate, the shortstop broke behind the runner, and Lishka immediately turned and just threw the ball because he knew his teammate would be there. Called play, and they had Harry picked off.
Harry just not expecting that. Of course, usually, you see it almost seemed like he's, obviously not quite, but it seemed like almost a motion had started towards the plate, so Harry just kind of caught up on that one.
Exactly. He was totally caught off guard, as were your announcers.
Just swing for that one to make it a full count.
In 2 of the 3 innings, Vorpal has allowed the leadoff man to reach. And he does that again. Good take by Lishka. On a pitch inside.
Vorpal wanted that call, but just a little bit too far inside.
Mike Kuda right down in front of us talking to some fans in the Bud backstop area.
Kuda, I guess, a little bit of time before he has to come up to plate. Still got another 4 batters.
Right.
So taking the, maybe if you come out to the stadium, you can talk to some players on either team.
It's a line drive into center field that drops for a base hit. And the Rippers threatening again. Runners, and it's the bottom part of the order too. Lishka, the 7th batter, walked, and now the number 8 hitter, Hill, with a single, and that brings up Mike Martin. I wouldn't be surprised if he'd be bunting him over.
That last hit, just a nice piece of hitting. Not a very hard hit, but just right in front of Walker. Grabs it on a hop.
Martin reaches out and bunts it. Anzia's throw, way off the mark, goes down the right field side. It'll allow a run to score. Martin will get a sacrifice bunt. Not an at-bat, but he reaches on the throwing error. And the errors are starting to pile up again for Sheboygan.
Really just the worst case scenario for Sheboygan. On a bunt you're expecting at least 1 out. That was designed to be a sacrifice play, but instead thrown aside.
Nobody out. Chicago has runners on 2nd and 3rd and a run in. Bouncer up the middle and through. Martin racing around 3rd. He will also score, and the ball goes all the way through. And Bowling will go to 3rd. That is some bad baseball, people. So Guyton singles up the middle for an RBI hit.
RBI, and then the throwing error
actually,
by
I guess you
Walker.
give him 2 RBIs, and then he goes all the way to third on the E8. Error on the throw. And the other bad thing about it was the ball should have been cut off. They didn't have a chance at that second runner. And then that way, by cutting it off, you keep the runner, the hitter, on first base.
At the very least, keep him on first base, but with some speed from people like Guyton, still possible they make it to second, but at least, try to give yourself a chance at the play at second, but at least for a cut on the infield, which it seemed like they were going for.
Yeah. We've seen some, actually, to be very blunt, very bad baseball by Sheboygan. Second game last night, and this game so far today. Score is 6-1, Chicago. They got a man on third with nobody out.
As you're saying, with the error, Sheboygan with 7 last game, I believe.
Yeah, it was
now
7.
Up to 2 or 3 in this game, depending on how you score it. Our scoreboard says 3. I have 2, or I have 3 on my end, but
let's see. I got 1, 2,
2
in
this
this
inning.
and 1 last inning. I got him with 3 also.
Yeah. We're thinking 3 errors on the team so far.
Bill changing it to 3.
What's the unfortunate thing about that is, last game it was a number of errors on the throws from catcher, but this time it's just all over the place with, who's getting each of the errors.
Swing and a miss by Bowling. You think about the throwing errors last night by the catchers trying to get the base stealer at second. Today it's the catcher throwing it away at first base on that sacrifice bunt, and then the outfielder throwing it away on the throw back into the infield. And another walk.
In game 1, I don't believe we had any errors for Sheboygan, so it's
we
just
had 1.
1 error?
Yeah.
I must have missed it on my scoring. Oh, yep, there I see it.
It was on the third baseman, Farrell, when Farrell was batting. And Bowling will steal second. No throw by Anzia.
And at this point, probably almost a smart play not to try to go for that steal. Giving up the base runner, but better than giving up the run by either Guyton just using his speed on the throw or a throw away, as we've seen with these past games.
Right. Yeah, it was a smart play by Anzia to just hang on to the ball.
Baseball
been having trouble getting strikes now. It's 3-1 or 3-0 rather on the batter.
And baseball just a very mental game. Baseball is, and so you start having a lot of errors in a short amount of time. You start losing confidence to make some pretty basic plays.
And we have the bases loaded. Still nobody out.
2 walks from Vorpal.
Sanchez coming up. He's had a nice game so far. A couple of singles, a couple of RBIs. Orpel pours in a fastball for a strike. Sanchez not happy. I don't think he was quite ready. He asked for time. Vorpal's not wasting time delivering the pitch.
Sanchez talking with their home plate umpire.
Yeah, he's asking him to allow him to get set before the pitcher delivers. Oh, everybody's in sync.
And Vorpal with those first 2 pitches, pretty smart on his end to take advantage of as soon as the ump's ready. It's ump's call when things are ready.
Ball 3.
Three-one count on Sanchez.
Breaking ball to Harry. He's got it out at second. Really out at first. Double play, but another run scores. Nice play by Harry. And a good turn by the second baseman, Flynn.
Getting those 2 outs very big for Sheboygan at this point.
Yeah, really. Jensen is up. 4 runs in the inning. It's 7-1. Harry with a backhand stop. Long throw across. And Neese makes the stab. And the out at first stands. And that ends the 4th inning for Chicago, but not before they add 4 more runs and now lead it 7-1.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you help support programs like Boys and Girls Clubs and Girls Who Code that show kids they can dream anything and do even more.
Carrier asks, what does comfort mean to you? We know it means more than just the temperature. And the people who invented modern air conditioning keep inventing new ways to make you comfortable. Carrier, turn to the experts.
For your heating and cooling needs, call Advanced Comfort Systems, Sheboygan's only Carrier Factory authorized dealer.
Cold beer on a Friday night, a pair of jeans that fit just right, and the radio.
Getting ready to start off the bottom of the 4th inning. Jimmy Jurgensen will be leading it off. Sheboygan trailing 7-1. Sheboygan not playing good baseball so far in this one.
Of course, that first game was played very well. Sheboygan making a very good comeback, down 5-1 at one point, but since then, just a lot of fielding miscommunication for Sheboygan.
Gotta give the Rippers credit. They only had 1 error in the first game and 1 error in the second game. They've been pretty solid. Jimmy with a long drive to right, and all Bowling can do is watch that one sail out of the ballpark. Home run for Jimmy Jurgensen, his first of the year.
And that one right away, Bowling out in right field, knew that was gone. And Jimmy hoping to get a little bit of fire lit under the Sheboygan A's bats.
The home run would be more fun if we weren't still down 5. But we'll take what we can get. Riley Palmquist is up next. Riley swinging at that first pitch. Bowling trots over and makes the grab in short right field, right on the foul line. And that brings up Justin Anzia. Anzia singled to right field, his first time up.
Catch both of those past 2 plays out in right field. Their cameras can't quite catch that, the long shot, just because of, this is how we're pressed. Well, all of our cameras are out on our side of the box, so a lot of mostly pointing out towards left field.
We'll have to get a camera down by Bill, pointing out towards right. Yeah, we'll have to punch a hole in the wall so we're invading the skybox. Called strike 3 on Justin Anzia. Lindcomb is not giving up any walks. That's key, and that was his first strikeout of the game.
And really just the big thing with Chicago in these games that they haven't really given up too many huge mistakes. That home run, I believe only 4 or 5 extra base hits on the entire series so far for Sheboygan.
Right. And that's been part of the problem, too, is we saw that Neese got the extra base hit this game to drive in a run, almost 2. But there were other opportunities to get in a run or 2 with an extra base hit, and we just couldn't come up with it. Matter of fact, a lot of times we didn't come up with the hit, period.
Of course, just a big. It's Sheboygan. They've been getting a lot of hits, but it's just.
Yeah, 8 hits in 4 innings. That's pretty good. Rodriguez, 1 hop. First, couldn't get it. Couldn't get the runner. And hustling all the way to second base is Bennett Becker. It's going to be a 2-base error on the third baseman.
Sheboygan hoping to drive in Becker. Last game, I believe 12 or 13 left on base.
Actually, in the second game last night, it wasn't too bad. We only left 3 runners on base, but the problem was we weren't getting runners on base to leave them on. Farrell was really good in that regard.
And showing bunt, skips away.
Becker advances on the wild pitch. See if Gus can get him home.
Play, I think, a little bit closer than Becker was expecting, but still easily able to stand up for the advance onto third.
We got a run in, a man on third. There are 2 outs. Walker 0 for 2 in the ball game. You can see where the shortstop is alongside the umpire on your monitor, and then if you look to your right, there's absolutely nobody there. There's a big hole right up the middle for Walker if he can get it to go that way.
It's leaving a lot of space up the middle open. Is that one chipped foul?
Jared Reklitis is scheduled to pitch a second game today.
Jared, the pitching MVP of the A's last year.
Slow roller. And a nice pickup by the first baseman who flips to the pitcher covering for the third out. And that ends the 4th inning for Sheboygan, but not before they score a run. After 4 complete, it's 7-2 Chicago.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you don't just feed yourself or your family. You help support programs like Simply Give that feed our neighbors in need.
Thank you.
Wingism number 1, the Flavor Saver. Legend Larry's, the definition of flavor.
Wingism number 2, the Joker.
Then our dad walked in. Dude, we're done eating. Use a napkin. Serious? Yeah. Are you serious? Yeah, I'm serious.
Why so serious?
Legend Larry's, the definition of flavor. Wingism number 2, the Joker.
Then our dad walked in. Dude, we're done eating. Use a napkin. Serious? Yeah. Are you serious? Yeah, I'm serious.
Why so serious?
Legend Larry's, the definition of flavor.
I grew up working in my family's supper clubs. This is where it started with us as far as the fish that we serve.
Michael Martinez is in for Vorpal. Ben's pitching line, he went 4 innings, gave up 7 hits and 7 runs. I'm going to have to recheck. I've got him for 4 of those runs being earned, but I'll have to check that a little closer. Ben did walk 4 and had 1 strikeout. The first hitter that Martinez will face is Benji Rodriguez, third baseman.
Martinez saw him a little bit yesterday. Had a solid performance.
Went 2 1/3 innings, gave up no runs, had a couple of strikeouts.
Again, coming in on relief. Martinez, I believe, also new this year.
Yes, he's in his first year. Rodriguez trying to bunt his way on, fouls it off.
Martinez, not one of the top-level speedsters of this Chicago team, but still, confident enough to try to get a bunt, make defense work on it.
After rechecking the scoring, Vorpal gave up 5 earned runs. Line drive down the right field line. Brady crashes into the fence along the foul line and couldn't make the catch. Restraining wall actually along that side, but great effort.
Tipped off the very edge of his glove out there in foul territory. Can't quite see it on our, even on our wide shot. Can't see that far out, but
we do have limitations, that's for sure. But hey, we got live stream broadcast. That's a good thing. Be happy with what you have.
Exactly.
Especially your announcers.
Yeah, I mean, you are announcing one of the Memorial Day Parade tomorrow.
Yes, John Putnam and myself will be announcing the parade. Will not be live. Be able to watch it after the fact. Parade starts at 9 o'clock on 7th and Center Avenue. It goes north to Michigan Avenue and then west to 9th Street. And then it heads south on 9th and it ends at Fountain Park. Be there or be square.
Martinez filling up the count.
I think yesterday I mentioned that John was a student at Lakeland, and I may have said that wrong. It's Lakeland University. Rodriguez swings and misses. Good start for Michael Martinez. And that brings up Blake Leshka.
Martinez, very solid strikeout on that one. Swinging through it. Martinez seems to be one of the first people out of the bullpen for Tim Moyer. Seen him, I believe this is his 4th or 5th appearance on the year.
I think he had 1 appearance in the play ball tournament. And then yesterday and today for sure. So that's 3. I'm not sure if he pitched in Kewaskum or not.
Still 3 appearances in 6 games. Very solid out of the bullpen.
Not bad, that's for sure.
Let's see what you got from some of the new players on the team.
Line drive. Leaping grab made by Jacob Neese. Jacob going vertical.
And I think I actually did manage to catch that on the camera. We start losing a little bit of visual once we get into right field, but first base.
We got that big pole. Of course, you can still at least see the bag.
That's the important bit.
Exactly, yeah, on some of those close plays. Two outs. We're in the top of the fifth. Sheboygan will have to battle back. They're down 5 right now.
Good strike there from Martinez. Martinez a pretty quick pitcher out here. I think that
we like those kind of pitchers.
Yeah, so that was some of the issue with our first game. Not, pitchers really taking their time on some of them, but we saw some real quick pitches from Vorpal last a few innings back against Rodriguez, but against Sanchez, sorry. And now Martinez settles in pretty quickly.
Bouncing ball to Harry. He gets a nice Sunday hop. And just gets the runner at first. Good play. And that ends the 5th inning for the Rippers. When the A's come to bat, they'll have the top of their order. Near the top, Flynn, Harry, and then Brady.
I grew up working in my family's supper clubs. This is where it started with us as far as the fish that we serve at Culver's today. We source the finest cod and batter each fillet by hand and always cook it to order. That beautiful golden brown color and flaky on the inside. The fish fry is a Midwest tradition. It's about families coming together. I love bringing this tradition to guests everywhere. Mom and Dad would be proud. Welcome to Delicious.
Wingism number 1, the Flavor Saver. Legend Larry's, the definition of flavor. Wingism number 2, the Joker.
Then her dad walked in. Dude, we're done eating. Use a napkin. Serious? Yeah. Are you serious?
Kyle Flynn will lead off the A's 5th inning. Kyle is 0 for 2, looking for his first hit. Sheboygan has hit the ball. They've got 8 hits. Trouble is the defense has not been very good.
Sheboygan even, all throughout this year has been showing some very good offense.
Fly ball into short center field, but Hill is right there. Makes the easy catch. 1 pitch, 1 out. Brings up Harry. Harry's 2 for 2.
Harry 2 for 2, finally starting to break out of a slow beginning of his year in terms of hits. Hoping to continue that and keep this Sheboygan offense going. Sheboygan only 1 strikeout so far today.
Lincomb has been effective. No walks. Charlie just mentioned he has the 1 strikeout. It helps as a pitcher to have a big lead.
Strike on that one. Sheboygan still doing a very good job of avoiding the strikeouts all throughout this series so far. 10 strikeouts yesterday in 18 innings of work, which is just weird to say for what's supposed to be 7-inning games. But
right, yeah, exactly. And we were very close to going extra innings in that first game, too. Sheboygan scored in the bottom of the 7th.
Bottom of the 7th with 2 outs as well.
Yes, right.
2 outs, a dive just barely missed out in right field, but Sheboygan managing to get through it. But
Harry strikes out. That's quite rare.
All this talking about strikeouts, the commentator curse. Still need to learn when not to talk about certain things.
What's interesting is the Ripper pitcher is not, overpowering type guy. He tries to fool you, and get you swinging and hit the ball weakly. And he only had one strikeout till he got Harry right there. And then Harry is not noted for striking out a lot. He usually draws walks or gets base hits.
Yeah, this Rippers team is very good at inducing contact, but it's contact that goes right to the fielders. Not even a lot of times, not even soft contact. We've seen some very nice hits from Sheboygan that have just landed right in the gloves. The Rippers outfield.
It's a positive to be playing teams like the Rippers that are really good, because that's going to hopefully, in the long run, make you a better team.
We mentioned a little bit yesterday that we split a series 3-1 with Rippers last year.
Martin's toss across the infield is in time. Charlie, save that thought. We're going to bring it back when we get to the top of the sixth.
What does it take to stay in business for 75 years? It's not only featuring USDA choice beef. It's not caring about every single one of our 30 varieties of bratwurst. Nope. After being family owned for 3 generations, we've learned it's about you. At Miesfeld's Market, we give back to the community, and our customers always come first. Since 1941, we've been feeding our neighbors, so come by and see what we've got today.
Wingism number 3, the Peter Heater.
Oh, so hot. Oh, so hot!
Legend Larry's, the definition of flavor. Wingism number 4, tea time.
What are you, having tea with the queen? Hello. Nice.
Legend Larry's, the definition of flavor.
And we are coming back into this game, the top of the sixth. Chicago leading 7-2. At the end of last inning, we are talking about how last year we had a 4-game set against Chicago, the Rippers, as well. Sheboygan split them 3 wins to 1. And this year looking to be a little bit of a closer fight for this one compared to last year's performance. Both games yesterday, only 1 run difference in each of them. This one, a little bit more of a struggle for Sheboygan, but Martinez hoping to continue to hold down Chicago.
Mike Martin with a swing and a miss. He used to be my favorite Ripper player, Mike Martin, but he makes too many good plays.
Yeah.
Just kidding, Mike. You're a fine ball player. You got to have guys like Mike on the team, because he not only is a good player, but he's a good teammate. He does the little things like coaching third or getting foul balls, doing all those kinds of things that somebody has to do, and he's helping out that way.
As I mentioned, one real interesting thing about Chicago is that they don't really have too many base coaches. Martin is really the only person I've seen over on third base. No first base coach right now.
No, they just they're just there. I don't mean in the coaching box. I mean just playing.
And it seems to be working for them, especially with a lot of times you'll have that third base coach, calling for steals. But it seems like Chicago, they know when they want to run.
I wonder who called that pickoff play.
Yeah, that one, I gotta think that was the catcher calling that one usually, but still just
that
a bit
pitch
of
loads it up now. It's 3-2 to Martin. Martin is 0 for 1. He reached on an error on a sacrifice bunt and wound up scoring in the 4th. And if you remember last night, Charlie, in the second game, the Rippers had 2 outs with a man on third, and he was up, and I thought, this could be a good situation for Sheboygan because he hasn't hit the ball hard all game. and he didn't hit the ball hard and wound up reaching on an error, and that was the winning run, as it turned out. Hit a ground ball just like that. Niso able to keep his toe on the bag, and they get Martin at first on a 6-3 putout. And that brings up Andy Guyton.
Of course, you had mentioned, keeping the toe on the bag. We did see that a little bit of an issue yesterday. Had a couple plays that were real close, but just barely off the bag on the throw. And, with a team as fast as Chicago, I know we keep harping on the speed that Chicago has, but, it really does kill you a lot when you have, even one base runner that turns into a few extra bases with just, stolen bases, wild pitch easily.
Bad throws from the outfield.
Yep. So I'm just stealing extra bases, either literally stealing or, taking them on, grounder to right field. If you have someone like Martin on first, might get to third on that one. So Martinez well wide on the second straight pitch.
Martinez not happy with himself. Count is 3-0. Well, you don't want to let Andy Guyton or Mike Bowling get on those guys. It's almost like an automatic double. So you go from first to then steal second.
Guyton, a solid hitter for, the leadoff spot. Usually leadoff spot, not necessarily always the best hitter. A lot of still want to get on base, of course, as he will draw the walk there, but Guyton ended up having a home run back in, I believe that was our first game.
The one thing nice, or that you'd want from your leadoff hitter, like you said, he doesn't necessarily have to be a good hitter, but be able to get on base.
Get on base, get extra bases. And that typical first runner want to get them on, first two runners get them on base, have the third runner start scoring.
Yeah, Guyton had a home run in the third inning of the first game yesterday.
And we see a run across the bottom of your screen. Mike Martin going to work his job as the third base coach.
Kathy Schrader in the press box.
Pickoff. Of course, these pickoff attempts, something that, it's another thing with having these fast runners on base. It, makes the pitcher have to second guess. Always have to keep checking over. Another pickoff attempt, unsuccessful there.
Michael Martinez doing his best to keep the runner close. Good pitch on the outside corner for a strike.
Chicago very efficient on the base paths this series. Only one caught stealing, I believe. Takeoff move back in the sixth.
Martinez drives Guyton back.
Bowling fouls that one. Thought that one was heading out of the park, but ends up just hitting up against the screen.
Boy, with Guyton on first, and he jumps to a big lead several times this at bat, and he hasn't gone yet. Martinez with a bad throw, but Nice able to scoop it up.
Nice a very good job fielding so far today, as well as yesterday had a very nice diving catch out at first.
Outside pitch. Evens the count at 2-2.
He's had a leaping catch earlier on today as well.
He went vertical. Scoops. D, right 3 on the inside corner. That's Martinez's second strikeout since he came in the ball game in the fifth, and that brings up Mike Kuda.
those inside pitches that Martinez got the strike on, those are always the kind of pitches that you want. Hitting inside can be a little bit difficult, so.
Line drive, just foul down the left field side.
A lot of times you want to get a pitch like right in on the hands on the inside.
I don't know how much you've been watching, but I've been noticing this throughout the last few innings with Sheboygan. The catcher is really making the pitcher work to catch the throwbacks. And even Jacob on his pickoff move, watch where the throw is. So that was a dandy. But he had one that was way off the side. He had a lunge to catch it. It just seems like the pitcher should not have to work so hard to catch the throwbacks to him. Guyton had a great jump. You would have stole second. Instead, the ball is popped up. And Anzia not able to navigate that pop-up. Drops harmlessly foul.
Yeah, couldn't quite see it on our cameras, I believe, but I think he ended up stumbling on his feet a little bit going in for that.
Right.
It's a bit of a difficult play for him. A little bit of difficulty tossing off the mask, and stumbling a little bit.
There is an art to it, that's for sure, in catching those foul pop-ups.
It's one of the most difficult positions in the game.
Ball is hit into center field. Walker makes the fine running catch for the last out of the 6th inning. And we're going to be heading to the bottom half of the inning with Jacob Neese, our leadoff hitter.
Let me tell you a story about a beer rooted in the heart of America, found in a community where a handshake is a sure contract, brewed for those who found opportunity in challenge and hope in tomorrow, raised by generations, willing to sip, share, risk, remember. This is a story bigger than beer. This is the story of the American spirit.
Charlie, trivia is back. We got a trivia question.
I'm gonna
the
try
trivia
to
question for this game is, what was the original colors of the Sheboygan A's, not counting the year they used the old Kingsbury Brewer uniforms? As you know, the color scheme now is maroon and white or gray. What were the original colors of the Sheboygan A's?
See, this time I'm making sure not to look at the answer sheet. See, with me,
okay, we got Bill says blue and white.
With me, when I hear the A's, I think, the Oakland A's, they've been around for a long time. So I'm thinking like a green, get that Packer color, the green and gold.
And CJ doesn't care. Original team colors of the Sheboygan A's. Bouncing ball in the hole, diving stop by Rodriguez. He bounces up, throws across. And the runner is safe. Base hit for Neese. That's his 3rd hit of the ball game. Jacob having a great game. And that brings up Jimmy Jurgensen, who had a big fly out in right field his last time up. And you're saying what? Green and white? Like the old Oakland team, Charlie?
Yep.
Okay.
Everyone else is going blue.
CJ did chime in. Nice to see him participate in our games up here in the press box. He's kind of off in his own little world trying to keep everything straight. I kid CJ a lot, but he really does a whale of a job up here, and he's got a lot going on. Fly ball to center field. Hill makes the grab. We'll give you a couple pitches to Riley Palmquist, and then we'll give you our answer. Riley 0 for 2 looking for his first base hit. Jacob over at first.
Of course, right now we got both teams, in relatively red. So let's say we did the throwbacks. What colors would those be?
Throw down by Jensen is not in time. The original colors of the Sheboygan A's were blue and white. And
Phil got that
those
one right.
Original uniforms are really pretty classy. They were blue and white pinstripes. A royal blue, fly ball to left. Coming up to bat for Justin Anzia will be Brad Reinflesch. Hey, Charlie, see if you can find what Reinflesch's batting was last year.
All right.
I don't think he's come to bat at all in this season. He's actually a good hitter. So the original colors were blue and white. We mentioned the royal blue pinstripes, and they were sleeveless. And then when you wore your baseball undershirt with the blue sleeve, it was really pretty sharp. Nice looking uniforms. They don't offer them in the team store, which is unfortunate. It'd be nice to have those available. But what did you find on Reinflesch's hitting last year, Charlie?
Reinflesch was 33% hitter. Hit third of his, third of
333?
Yep, 333 and 18 at bats. 400, so single every time, as well as took a few walks.
Joey Pettit into pinch run. Joey Pettit making his first appearance with Sheboygan. So Brad draws a walk. They pull him and bring in Joey Pettit to pinch run. First ball hitting is Becker behind set. Along the line. Oh, not being able to make the catch was the second baseman, Kuda. 1-run scores for Sheboygan. What are you giving him, Bill? Base hit on a tough play. Good call by Bill. And give Becker an RBI.
Not sure if we can really see that on our camera, but that one just a very, very long way to run. Tried to basket around the hip and ends up popping out of the glove of Kuda.
Gus Walker up. Chance to drive in a couple of runs. Good base running by Sheboygan also. Pinch runner Joey Pettit went all the way to third, and then Bennett Becker hustling out of the box, and what looked like it might be caught. He kept running and ended up at second. Line drive, base hit, center field. 2 more runs will score for Sheboygan. We think. They do. Strong throw by Hill, but not in time. Gus Walker with a 2 RBI single to center. And the A's are back in it. 7-5, Chicago leads now.
So this has just been a very solid hitting performance by Sheboygan. Single from Nice, walk by Reinflesch, and then the double and single here to score in some runs, putting the A's back in business.
Walker not going on that first pitch, which was a strike to Flynn. Flynn looking for his first base hit today. A's trying to battle back. Gus Walker with a great hit to center field, driving in a pair. Hanging curveball, and Flynn knocks it foul. Right down the third base line. Walker running on the pitch. It's a pop-up on the infield. Kuda makes that play. And that ends the 6th inning for Sheboygan, but not before they score 3 runs. And after 6 complete, Chicago still on top, but now it's 7-5.
The estimated hold time is now less than 96 minutes. We thank you for your patience.
Sorry, are you still there?
Yes.
Okay, please hold.
$207 and the 50-50 was just won. Get yourself out to the ballpark for game number 2. You could be a 50-50 winner.
See, all this makes me think that I should start buying some. Intern gotta get paid somehow.
Dawson Selvosky pitching the 7th for Sheboygan.
Looks like Ian Mary coming in to catch now.
Yep. Good catch on that one. Melendez pinch hitting for Sanchez.
Melendez saw him pitch a little bit yesterday, as well as doing a little bit of hitting.
Enrique Melendez.
Chicago, lots of lefties on their team, so really having to use a lot of disadvantageous matchups for Sheboygan. Melendez 2-1 pitch.
Hey guys, it's number 44, which is Dawson Selvosky, but it doesn't look like him. So we're not sure who's pitching. Dawson is listed as number 44 on the preseason program, but Dawson started last night. You wouldn't expect to see him pitching again today. Swing and a miss, strike 3 on Melendez. Michael Martinez went 2 innings, gave up no hits, no runs, walked 1, and struck out 2. A nice outing for Michael. Brian Jensen is up next.
Martinez rocking the mound like a hurricane. The Utah native from Hurricane, Utah, of course. I said that.
Home ball to Harry, he picks. Throw across is in time. You know, I'm thinking with all those close plays at first base this weekend, it's a good thing we don't have those bigger bases. Benji Rodriguez, third baseman, coming up.
Rodriguez had a nice dive during the last inning. Was not able to throw out Nice, on the play. And ball will be inside. Rodriguez 2 outs as he comes in. No hits so far on the day. 0 for 3 as he'll pop one up.
Ball is popped up on the infield, and making the catch is Flynn. And that ends the 7th inning. When we come back, Sheboygan will try to erase that 2-run Chicago lead.
Cold beer on a Friday night, a pair of jeans that fit just right, and the radio.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you help support programs like Boys and Girls Clubs and Girls Who Code that show kids they can dream anything and do even more.
Carrier asks, what does comfort mean to you? We know it means more than just the temperature. And the people who invented modern air conditioning keep inventing new ways to make you comfortable. Carrier, turn to the experts.
For your heating and cooling needs, call Advanced Comfort Systems, Sheboygan's only Carrier factory authorized dealer.
Oh, no, you're right. We sent Olivia down to check on who was pitching, and she got it was Dawson Selvoski, so we'll go with that. It didn't look like Dawson, but Dawson pitches a 1-2-3 inning. Harry leads off the 7th with a base hit to left. And hopefully Sheboygan is on their way. It gets by the left fielder. Harry is going to chug into second on that error by the left fielder. Good start for Sheboygan. Selvoski.
Single plus an error on that one. Yeah, what? Ball rolling past Guyton out in left field. Had a very good play yesterday, but now starting off with an error out here in the bottom of the 7th.
That's the second error on the Rippers. So Harry's on at second with the single, and then the error by the left fielder. Brady Zachrisson is up next. Brady 1 for 3. See if he can keep it going.
Cut it a little
Carl
bit.
Lindholm still on the hill for the Rippers. I think he'll be going the distance. They have nobody warming up.
Cut it a little bit as we came back on the air, but maybe the sing of Roll Out the Barrel helped Harry Stout to get that very nice leadoff hit.
Right back to the mound.
And not much that Harry can do on that one.
No.
Zachrisson fairly
Brings up
harmlessly.
Jacob Neese. Jacob is 3 for 3. Let's see if he can keep it going. Tough break for Brady. If that gets by the pitcher, it's out into center field for a hit. Jimmy Jurgensen waiting on deck.
Neese had an RBI back in the first inning. He was unable to advance past first base on his hit in the third, thanks to the pickoff play from Chicago. Now hoping to score Harry and maybe himself as he hits it.
Fly ball
pretty
out
high
into
up
short
there.
left field. Martin racing over, and he can't make the play, but it is a foul ball. Overran it, and not able to reach back and catch it, but it is a foul ball, unfortunately.
Very lucky break for Chicago on that one. Martin, we saw him have a very good catch last game. This time, trying to do the same, ends up missing. Or Mike Martin would never do something like that.
No.
Well, he would never miss up anything like that.
I'd hope I'd never miss that. But you never know. Jacob back in the box. 1-1 is the count. A good take there by Jacob.
No one keeping Harry out on second.
12 hits for Sheboygan in this ball game. We're going to need a couple more to tie it up and take the lead. Another good take by Jacob, and he walks. We have the tying run. The runners on base now with Harry and Jacob. Home run here wins the ball game.
Jimmy hoping to make a even bigger statement. He already sort of started the comeback for Sheboygan back in the fourth. Every run since has been unanswered.
Neese with pretty good speed is on first. He's the important runner. He's the tying run. Good take by Jimmy. Evens the count at 1-1. Lindholm wanted that pitch, but umpire Steve Wall says no. John Coons working the bases this game.
Those two umps likely to switch roles in the second game.
That's what they did yesterday. It's a 4-game set for them.
It's always got to appreciate the umps out there doing a lot of work for these games, especially with that long 11-inning game.
Oh, not
yesterday.
a good pitch by Lindholm, but he got away with it. A hanging breaking ball, and Jimmy swung through it. Evens the count at 2-2. There is one out.
Jimmy, I think a little bit too happy to see that one. Ends up.
Line drive caught by Martin. And Harry is out at second. Oh, my. And that ends the ball game. Chicago a winner, 7-5. Sheboygan not able to rally all the way. They made a good attempt, but fell short. Chicago wins game 3 of this series. And we'll be back in about 20-25 minutes for game 4. Hopefully Jared Recolaitis can pitch Sheboygan to victory in that game. One more time, the final, Chicago 7, Sheboygan 5.